Hey bro, subscribe to the channel. There are a lot of interesting things here.
What if your goals are failing because of one invisible rule? Everyone talks about goals, setting them, chasing them, grinding every day until you reach them. You write them in planners, paste them on vision boards, whisper them into New Year's air like spells. And still, they crumble. Quietly, slowly, almost politely. You don't crash. You just drift. You don't fail. You forget. And you wonder, what's wrong with me? Why can't I finish what I start? Why do I always burn out halfway through? But what if the answer isn't about effort or motivation or discipline? What if there's one invisible rule, buried so deep in your mind, that's quietly killing every goal you've ever set? You wouldn't notice it. That's the point. It doesn't shout. It doesn't warn. It whispers at the edge of progress, just when you're close enough to see results. It tells you to tweak the plan, to restart, to wait for the right moment. And like that, you step off the path. Again. The rule has no name, but it sounds like logic. It feels like safety. It wears the face of responsibility, and its real power lies in its timing. It only activates when you're growing. When you're stuck, it leaves you alone. When you dream small, it stays silent. But the moment you stretch, the moment you dare to think you could become something more, that's when it wakes up. You might call it fear, but it's smarter than that. It shows up as being realistic. It convinces you to scale down, to lower the stakes, to stay within what you can already measure. It doesn't want you to fail. It just wants you to not try hard enough to matter. So you set your goals just beneath your potential. You avoid the risk of real loss, and in doing so, you avoid the possibility of real transformation. And it works brilliantly. You keep busy. You stay productive. You cross things off your list. But somewhere in the middle of your chest, there's a pressure, a hum, a dull ache that sounds like this isn't it. That's the rule doing its job. You'll hear it when you're about to share your idea with the world and something tells you it's not ready. You'll feel it when your habits start working and a voice whispers, "This is too hard to sustain." You'll obey it when your dream starts gaining momentum and a part of you says, "Slow down. You're not built for this." And the worst part? It's right, just often enough, to convince you it always is. So you repeat the cycle, over and over. Dream, start, doubt, pause, distract, repeat. You don't even notice you're following a rule. You just assume this is what growth feels like. But it's not. Growth feels terrifying, yes. But it also feels true. Like something inside you is finally aligned with the person you were supposed to become. The invisible rule doesn't want truth. It wants control. It wants the version of you that stays predictable, manageable, safe. And that's why it's invisible, because it lives inside the way you think about effort itself. You've been trained to believe goals are about achievement. But goals aren't about crossing finish lines. They're about rebuilding identity. Every goal whispers, "Become this." And every time you listen, the rule fights back. So how do you beat something you can't see? You expose it. You name the voice when it shows up. You say, "This hesitation isn't wisdom. It's fear in disguise." You test the thoughts that try to shrink your dreams. You lean into the discomfort instead of away. And most importantly, yakoi, you keep going when the rule tells you to pause. Because the truth is, you're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're not broken. You've just been obeying a rule that was never yours to begin with. And the moment you see it, really see it, is the moment you get to break it. From that point on, every action, no matter how small, becomes rebellion. Every habit becomes a crack in the illusion. And eventually, the rule stops running the show. Your goals weren't the problem. The rule was. And now that you know, you can finally build something that lasts, not because you're pushing harder, but because you're no longer being silently pulled back. So the next time you find yourself stalling, hesitating, over-planning, ask yourself, whose rule am I following right now? And if the answer isn't yours, break it.
Hey bro, subscribe to the channel. There are a lot of interesting things here.